Thank you everyone, thank you for this first party meeting, National Housing Party, United Kingdom in Manchester, central Manchester. It's the second venue here, but it'll be good enough. But my name's John Lawrence, party leader, and we're just going to talk about issues of the day and stuff like that. And we've got a lot of speakers up as guests and that. But first of all, I'm going to get right on it, and I'm going to introduce Manchester's contender for the Murder and Crime Commissioner in Manchester, which is Nick Buckley. Thank you.
Yay!
Thank you, John, and thank you for the invitation to come today and speak to you all. You all know me, you've probably seen me online. I've been online now, banging on about this election for over 12 months now. What do I want to do if I'm elected? Because at the moment it's still a very slim chance that I will win. Andy Burnham is still favourite, the Labour Party is still favourite, even though his majority may get reduced this year. He actually went up 3 years ago, so he did well 3 years ago. But like I say to people, unless you try to offer the people something different, we're just going to get more of the same.
Yeah.
So me losing isn't, even if I do lose, isn't a loss, because I would have passed my messages on to hundreds of thousands of people, and maybe that is the first tiny snowball that starts the avalanche in 10 years time, because everything starts with one step, every journey starts with one step, and that's what and your party as well is trying to do. Wake people up to see that this is the country they love, and this is, their family, this is where their children are going to go up. And if we don't improve it, then honestly no one else is going to improve our country for us. The career politicians won't, because all the career politician wants is to be elected again. Hence why they only care about the people who vote. So if you're watching this on YouTube and you don't vote, honestly, you're part of the problem. That's why they're ignoring you and ignoring your family and your community, because you don't vote. People died to get the vote in this country, and then once we got it, the elite convinced us that our vote doesn't matter. And the reason why they convince us that is because our vote does matter. And the elite don't want us to vote because we want different things to them. So they would rather give us Coronation Street and put us on benefit to the council house, as long as we keep our mouths shut. And that was a deal we made with them 50 years ago. And it's a deal I want to break. I want us to be the leaders of our communities, the leaders of our country, and for us to dictate the way this country should go forward. And if more people disagree with us, that's fine, that's called democracy. But then that shouldn't mean we shut up and we don't put our arguments forward, because we can convince people, and we will convince people, and we are convincing people. You know as much as me, speak to anybody in the street now, change is coming. I can smell it in the air. It might not be the change I want, it might not be the way I want it, but change is definitely coming to the UK. People have had enough. People are sick of being classed and treated as second-class citizens, because that's how it feels. It may not be true, but you know what? It doesn't matter if it's true or not. It's how it feels. I feel second-class. You feel second-class. We've got citizens living and dying in entries in this country, but yet if you're an illegal immigrant and sneak into the country, you get a 4-star hotel. How is that fair? I'm not saying those people should live in entries as well. I'm saying no one should be living in entries. That's how simple it is. Now, for me to make an impact at this election, I need several things to happen. First of all, Keir Starmer is helping me out at the moment, because he's upset all the Greens by cancelling his Green New Deal that he was going to put 28 billion a year into. He's cancelled that already, and he's upsetting the Muslim bloc vote, just as George Galloway has shown the country. Now, with those two things, hopefully that'll take a couple of 100,000 votes off Andy Burnham at the election. The Tories are going to come nowhere. I mean, let's be honest. Have you met anyone recently who supports the Tories? No one. Even Tory members hate the Tories at the moment because they've let everybody down over 14 years. I've never despised the party as much as I despise the Conservative Party at the moment. Honestly, I've actually voted for the Tory Party in the past. I've never voted Labour or Lib Dems. I have been a Tory voter several times over my 55 years. But at the moment, I just hate them and what they've done to the country, the cowardice. So no one's going to be voting Tories. So if anyone challenges Andy Burnham in Greater Manchester, it's going to be an independent. It has to be. And hopefully I'll be the top of the pile of, there's usually about 3 or 4 independents who stand, and hopefully I'll be at the top of that pile. But for me to do better than that, for me to maybe come third or come second, or in my wildest dreams, maybe win. But for those things to happen, I need support. I've not got any millionaire backers. The press are not interested in me at all. I got an amazing homeless charity to come to Piccadilly Gardens about 6 weeks ago with a bus that sleeps 12 people that they use in Blackpool, and have nearly ended rough sleeping in Blackpool. And I got them to Piccadilly Gardens with this bus. The guy who created the bus has offered to give me one for free if I become mayor. Couldn't even get the press to turn up. On a Tuesday night, what else have we got better to do? Couldn't even get anyone to turn up from the press to see how we can solve rough sleeping in Greater Manchester. If that had been Andy Burnham's idea, we'd have had all the press in Piccadilly Gardens clapping their hands going, King of the North is doing it again, ending rough sleeping. But an independent who tries to do it, no press attention. So I need help and support. And what I really need is people in this room, people you know, to hear about me, and for you to speak to your neighbours, your friends, for you to follow me on Facebook and all the social media channels. TikTok, I'm on TikTok now. Who can believe a 55-year-old man is on TikTok? I don't know what I'm doing half the time. I upload a video, press send, and I'm off it. But I need you talking to your family and friends about me, saying, here's a guy I like for these reasons. And he's independent. He hasn't got any puppet masters. What I say I'm going to do. And if I don't do what I'm going to say, there's only one person to blame, and that will be me. And I might not be able to achieve everything I want to achieve, but I can guarantee this, it won't be through a lack of trying. And when I can't achieve something, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you who's blocking it. I'll tell you which council has put a stop to it. I'll tell you why that's not happening. Because we've got to give the public the information, because at the end of the day, it's your country. It's our country. Our politicians are our servants. They're not our masters. They're not our overlords. They work for us. So speak to your family, your friends, share all my posts online, and hopefully we can reach more and more people. But I've got some hands up. I'll take some questions.
Can I just say something? This is not being negative
Yep.
in any way, because obviously this is the way I'm feeling. Like, I heard Keir Starmer's name, and obviously links to letting Jimmy Savile go with, you know, raping 500 kids,
Yep.
plus more. So when I heard you say, like, you know, obviously he's causing a bit of ruft and the votes are coming in, it's all right for the votes, but like, are the people going to back you back going near Keir Starmer? Because a lot of people are actually feeling that way, because I see him getting slagged off all
Oh, I can't stand Keir Starmer.
No, it's that he let Jimmy Savile off. He was the one at the top of the investigation that let him off. So a lot of people have actually took a dislike to Keir Starmer. So that's where I'm worried about using Keir Starmer in, you know, like using his name basically.
I'm using it in...
Just one thing, I wouldn't
Yeah.
use his name. I wouldn't use it. He wouldn't come nowhere near mine.
It's a fair point. It's a fair point. But I was trying to use Keir Starmer's name in an ironic sense that he's doing me a favour.
He is doing you a favour, but is it going to go in your favour?
If he can upset more Labour voters, it goes in my favour. The more Labour he
But
upsets.
some people are sick of the political, the getting the votes and getting this and getting that, and no one's actually sorting out the brown problems, like
Nobody's.
the paedophilia, the child abuse,
You can't even fix the roads.
Keir Starmer's done what he's done, and the public will not forgive him for what he's done. I don't know how he's even running today with what he's done. And that's the way I stand on it. And I will never ever back the Labour Party. I'll never back Keir Starmer. I'll never back anyone in the Labour Party ever again. Yeah.
Well, it's the last time I used the word Keir Starmer.
Yeah. I won't use his name again.
Can I, have you been, when I talk to the public, there's two issues that really rise up in the public. One is the housing issue. It's massive.
Yeah.
People find it really difficult to get affordable housing, decent housing. They want social housing, it's not available. The other is immigration. More and more people coming in, saturating the job market, saturating the housing market. People want action on those two issues. How can you contribute to that?
As the mayor, there's virtually nothing I can do. I'd be lying if I said I was going to look at him and try to do something. But my overall strategy, if I become mayor, will be to highlight the failing top civil servants who are ruining our lives. And they come under housing and they come under mass immigration as well. So if I can start looking at why we have a housing crisis in this country, especially in Greater Manchester, who are the civil servants who are stopping the planning permission? Who are the politicians who are not allowing planning permission because their donors are saying, I want to keep all my green fields? Who are these people? And what I'll be doing is I'll be naming and shaming top civil servants who I feel are either incompetent or going against the public will. That's the most I can do. I'm going to be hated across Greater Manchester, in the councils, in the NHS, in all the tax-funded services, because I don't intend to work with these organisations, because I can't work with them, because they won't want to work with me. They'll just block me every step of the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to embarrass them into being better and changing and being less wasteful and being so incompetent. And I will give this top senior civil servants skin in the game. I want them eventually to have meetings about a new transport system, a new computer system, and say to themselves, we better make sure this works. We better make sure this comes in on budget and it can't be done cheaper, and that it works. Because if we don't, that crazy mayor is going to use my name in front of the press and tell the world I'm incompetent. And then that's going to affect my career prospects. That's going to affect my pension. And I'm not prepared to have my incompetence ruin my career. So I better do a better job. That's the pressure I'm going to put on tax-funded services.
You said you are focusing on the homeless situation in Manchester, which is great, and you had the bus event. They provided the bus for you, which is excellent. And you said you contacted the mainstream media. I've seen you on GB News, which is really good. Credit to them for letting you on there. And did you contact GB News for that event?
Yes, everybody.
Right.
Lots of people emailed me back going, this looks like a great project, welcome. But 3 hours in Piccadilly Gardens, no one turned up. No one did a piece on it at all. I even followed it all up with a press statement, with photos, with quotes that they could just cut and paste and make a bit of a story out of in case they were short of time and didn't have the staff. Nobody was interested.
Okay. Any more questions?
No, so as you know, the election's the 2nd of May. Follow me on social media, Nick Buckley MBE. I'm on everything basically. And together, let's see what we can do.
Thanks for coming along, Nick.
Well, thank you.